Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we'll do our last segment here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham. And we're going to be talking with Olivia Jarrett, who is the, let's see, you are, what is your title here with?
I am the Community Education Outreach Coordinator.
Community Education Outreach Coordinator. Thank you, Olivia. For Planned Parenthood, Columbia, Willamette.
Yes.
Yes, thanks for being here, Olivia.
Thanks for having me.
So you, Planned Parenthood's been around for a long, long time. You were telling me about 100 years. It's 100 years old nationally?
Yes, we just had our 100-year birthday in October.
Wow, I can't believe
very
it's
proud of it.
That's a long, long time. And it's a very large organization.
Yes.
And with a ton of different resources and services. Your main focus is on education, correct?
Yes, so we have our health centers that do preventative care and all sorts of screenings, and then family planning, and then we have the education arm also that I am in. That
is what you're doing. Now, the education part of it, what all does that encompass? I mean, it's all ages, is that right?
It is all ages. Human beings are sexual beings, so we need sex ed in all stages of life. So we're the biggest comprehensive sexuality giver in the nation. So we work a lot with high school students. So that's here locally, we've been working with high school students for a long time, are continuing to do so with different programs. And then we're also expanding into the colleges. That's what we've started doing this year.
Okay, and I want to hear about that. But tell me something that when you're working with the high school students, do you work with the schools, or you do work with the schools? So you're actually part of this, are you building into the curriculum, or is this always tell me how that works.
Yeah, great question. So we do a lot of different things. So what we know is that teachers have so much on their plates. They're doing so many amazing things, and they don't necessarily have the specific training for sexuality education. So they ask us to come in knowing that we're the experts in the field, because that's what we focus on.
Right.
So we have teachers call up and say, hey, I have this health class, can you come in and do, we usually like to do at least 3 sessions to do anything, abstinence, birth control methods, consent, things like that.
Okay.
So they ask us to come in. And we also have a peer-taught education program. So we have teens that go in and teach their peers. They're trained, they meet once a week. And then we also have educators like me. I go in and fulfill requests when some teachers just don't have the capacity to teach sex ed, but they know how important it is.
Or just don't want to do it, but they know it's important.
Correct, right. Which is great when people can say, I'm not good at this. Yeah. You are, please come in.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a teacher who's forced to teach this class that they just don't want to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can always tell that. So tell me a little bit about the peer-to-peer teaching. Does that go over well?
It's fantastic. We know that peers listen to their peers more than they listen to anybody else.
Yeah.
So if we can teach them really great information, they can go teach their peers. And then they're advocates within their schools. So people know who they can go to get the right answers.
You know that your kids usually find out about sex for the first time from their peers anyway, and half the time it's incorrect information. Right,
so it's passed between people. Maybe it's gotten on the internet, on TV shows and movies. Not a great form of education.
Right, so, and as one person tells another, the story just gets all changed around anyway. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's great to have that. So you have a video that I believe you said talks about the high school program.
Yes,
is that right?
It does. Teen Council.
Okay, so maybe we can take a look at that. But that is the program that's in place now.
Correct.
But you said now you're also going to be going to the colleges.
Yes.
So this won't talk about that, but it'll show what you're doing now, and then you can tell us where we're going from there.
Yes.
Okay, well, maybe we'll take a look at that right now.
All right.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about teens talking about sex. Let's talk about supportive adults talking to teens who talk to other teens about sex. That's Teen Council. Teens are incredibly resourceful, and the Teen Council program believes that the solutions to challenges that teens face lie in amplifying their voices, not silencing them. Teen Council facilitators inspire young people to be sexual health resources. They equip Teen Council members with the most effective prevention tool available, accurate information. Because when teens have all the facts, They make better, healthier decisions. Facilitators invest in teen council members and help develop their skills as leaders, advocates, and peer educators. It's an investment that pays off. Through formal presentations and casual conversations, trained teen council members share their knowledge with classmates, friends, and family. But it doesn't end there. Teen council members talk with healthcare providers about how to be more teen-friendly. They lobby lawmakers about policies that improve teens' health. They encourage parents to talk with their own teens. Teen Council's impact ripples out, making entire communities safer and healthier. It's an effect that lasts a lifetime. Since the first Teen Council started more than 2 decades ago, graduates have gone on to become healthcare providers, teachers, policymakers, askable parents, and even Teen Council facilitators supporting the next generation of teens. They credit Teen Council as the origin of their interest in making the world a better, safer place. So if you believe that teens can be clever, charismatic, curious, concerned, compassionate leaders who can change the world, join us in supporting Teen Council.
And one of the things I really like about that is they talked about not just the cold hard facts about sex and what it is, and not even just how it's not even just about how to protect yourself physically, but they're talking about consent and bullying and that kind of thing. Those are some, and healthy relationships. Those are some really, really big issues that I think most people don't know that Planned Parenthood even talks about.
Yeah, definitely. And in sex ed, people don't think of that. They think of birth control methods and protection, which is really, really important. But we know that people are more complete beings, especially teens that are going through so much. We've all been there. It's intense.
That's probably every bit as important, because you need to learn those things and how to navigate those relationships and how to be able to say no and how to know what's right for you, and just to there's a lot of big decisions to be made at that age, and there's a lot of temptation, and there's a lot of misinformation. So
a lot of brain development happening, a lot of exploring of values and how they are in the world and how they should interact in the world. One thing people don't realize is that kind of the core of sex ed is empowerment. So positive youth developments like the programs we do are really working to empower teens. And when we empower teens, we're giving them the information they need to make the best decision for themselves. When they do that, they are engaging with their communities more wholehearotedly and in positive ways, which is really beautiful to see. And also we're seeing them go on to be advocates and fierce people in other people's lives. Also, dropout rates go down. People are going to school more, getting better grades because they feel good, right? Self-esteem is huge.
They know they're making good decisions that they have made. It wasn't somebody else telling them they needed to make that decision.
Exactly, and that's what young people need.
Decisions.
Brain development is so much about figuring stuff out. So we want to support them and give them the information.
I think that's great. So you've had this program in the high schools for a while.
Yes, this is actually a national program. So here with our affiliate, we have one in Portland, in Woodburn, and in Beaverton.
Okay. Now, the name of your new program that you were going to talk to me about tonight is called?
Fresh.
Fresh. And what does that stand for?
It stands for Furthering Reproductive Empowerment and Sexual Health. So the reason we decided to do it, so often in our culture we think teens is just like they're other people, and then we forget that teens become adults, right? So what they learn or what they don't learn follows them into adulthood. So people don't magically learn things when they turn 18 or 25. They need to be learning these things. So what we're finding in colleges is that there's a huge need for sex ed still. So I think it's about 3 in 5 college students are not using contraceptives on a regular basis. And only about 15% think there's a risk for pregnancy. So there's a big disconnect. So we saw that it was really important to go into the colleges. And when we got started, we went and talked to colleges and said, what do you need? What's going on in your community? So we could fulfill their needs. So
what do you think's happening? I mean, if the kids get the education in high school, do you think it's just that some of the kids fall through the cracks and never get that sex ed, or that they're just not in a place where they're getting it at that time, or?
Good question. So a lot are not getting it.
not at all.
You know, people in colleges are coming from all around the country.
True.
Every place is doing different things. Oregon has really progressive laws in terms of making sure we have comprehensive, medically accurate sex ed, but not all communities have the support to do it.
Okay.
So some people are not getting it. Some people maybe had a teacher that just didn't resonate well with them, or they didn't have the skill set because they weren't trained to make sure that they're delivering it correctly or effectively.
And I'm sure there's situations where, because of family situations or the beliefs of the, you know, wherever you grew up, that that was frowned on to learn that.
Yeah.
But if you're in a position where you need it, it's good to know that it's available.
Yeah, and that's our stance. People have all different values. What we know is that people need this information, and we are not telling people what to do. We're saying, here are all of the things you can do.
You're not judging them. They can,
here is why people might be abstinent. Let's explore that. If people choose to have sex, whether it's now or later, when they're married, when they're not married, what can they use to prevent unintended pregnancies? You know, condoms to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Very important things, and really good public health things. It's our community. It's not just individuals.
Yeah. And I mean, and unfortunately, there's a lot of very, very young kids that are sexually active, and I shouldn't say bad, you know, that it's a bad thing, but you know, to me, it's kids are not ready when they're, you know, like in middle school. They're just not ready for that. They're not mature enough to handle that, and those, you know, those kids need to know too. They need to know too. But then, if you get yourself in that situation, you need to be tested for a disease or for pregnancy or something like that.
Right.
There's plenty of kids that won't go to their parents.
Correct. And one thing that's really good to know is that the average first sexual encounter is actually going up. The age is going up.
That's good to hear.
So sex ed is actually, if you give people the information, they a lot of times are pushing off their first sexual experience. And when they do have it, they know how to protect themselves, and they know how to get consent, and they know how to communicate with their partner about everything. The other thing is we're seeing teen pregnancy go down nationally. We're an all-time low. So we are doing a great job. It is working, and we can see that in how the teens are engaging and how they're opening up and talking.
Well, then tell me about the Fresh program. Then, how is this different? It's on the college campus, or where is this in Portland?
So I am doing the one at Portland Community College Southeast at 82nd and Division.
Okay.
So we also have one happening at Washington State University, Vancouver, and we're getting ready to launch one in Bend. At one of the two colleges, or maybe both.
So those areas are all covered by the Columbia-Willamette division of
Yes. So our affiliate, we have Northeast Portland, Southeast Portland, Milwaukee, Vancouver, Salem, Bend, and Beaverton. Those are our 7 locations. And for each location, we have a community education outreach coordinator like myself. So you'll see us out in the community doing outreach and also teaching in many, many different settings.
I bet. So what? How will this work then at the Fresh program at the campus? Because you can't be talking to everybody. You must have somebody helping you out here.
Yes. So I partner with the Women's Resource Center, and they have been amazing partners. So so the Fresh is a...
Are these some of the ladies that you're talking about? Okay.
These beautiful ladies, Shaina and Tamani. They are 2 of the ambassadors there with the Women's Resource Center. I also have a third one. Her name is Elise. She was not able to be here. So this is for International Women's Day. If you see me in the community or any people from Planned Parenthood, you will see our trivia wheel. So we ask people trivia, sexual health trivia, relationship trivia, and then they can get some prizes. We have information on our services. Over there on the left is our little Fresh poster. So people would be, if they sign up for Fresh, they're signing up for a 3-part series on sexual health. And we're also looking to do workshops based on what the community is wanting. And then the ambassadors, this is this really great thing we just did. Myself and the ambassadors, they wanted to do a reproductive timeline that focused on how marginalized communities have been affected by the reproductive justice movement, which is a very important topic. So
that would be very interesting, I'm
it
sure.
is. It's fascinating, the things that we just don't know about. So, or that a lot of people
sometimes.
A lot of people don't know about a lot of things, how we have learned about certain things in the communities that have been negatively affected. So that's at PCC Southeast.
That might be another conversation
thing.
for another time.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
we only have a couple minutes left. Tell me if somebody, who can be part of the FRESH program, and what do they need to do to get involved with that?
Yeah, so at any of the campuses we're at, you can always contact us. Go to our website, ppcw.org. Getting in touch with me works. Getting in touch with the Women's Resource Center at PCC Southeast. So we're going to be having ongoing workshops.
Is it just for women?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yes.
It is for all genders, for all people, all ages.
Okay.
We welcome everybody. Everybody has something to bring to the conversation. Also, just want to say that we are making a lot of strides. Things are getting better. Teen pregnancy is at an all-time low, but there are still communities with huge health disparities. Communities of color, rural communities, LGBTQ folks that are really, especially now in our current political climate, really needing a lot of support and advocacy. And so we're showing up for those communities and trying to learn more about what their needs are and how we can support them.
And I imagine you always can use more volunteers.
Yes, we've had so much support lately. It's a beautiful thing.
Good, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Right, well, thank you so much, Olivia,
you.
for sharing that with us. So if you would like to get more information about the FRESH program or any of the other services or resources that are available to you from Planned Parenthood, do go to their website, check it out. The information should be on your screen. And thank you for joining us for Community Hotline. We'll be back here next week. Until then, I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media. Good night.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.